Welcome to the Imperial Grandstand. I'm Alan Imperial.
I'm Carlos Del Rosario.
And on today's show, we're going to be continuing our mischief at the festival.
Mischief at the festival.
Yeah,
So,
this is I think episode 8 in the series.
episode 8. So, the small there. And yeah, let's go back. So, Mischief at the festival is a module. It's an adventure that you can buy at the DM's Guild. It's my go-to if I just want small adventures to, play with my friends. And
Yeah,
I
good
found this
bite-sized chunks.
I found this little gem and has in this one module there are 4 1-hour city adventures.
They're 2-hour adventures.
Yeah,
The
with
way
the way
that
we play, yeah.
yeah. Shout out to Mr. Y. Michael Zhang.
Oh yeah, this is really well written, and I really did try to find a good module for you guys. What would you all like? And you want a little bit of RP, a little bit of combat. You want something a bit of a brain teaser.
And we wanted to be at a convention because
Eh,
because of the
yeah,
because of the plague.
it's like as soon as I read this, I'm like, oh, you magnificent jerk! I read your book. I know what this is. This is a convention.
And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because going back to it, okay,
You have 4 sections.
you have 4 sections. You're introduced to the city, and it's having something called the Magic and Gold Festival, and it kind of works like an adventure game or a GTA where you have a city, but you have points in the city that you can go to. So you have a celebrity bardic troupe you can go to. There's a panel. There's a vendor area, and there's a food court.
Yeah. Now, if you wanted to, you can go simply 1, 2, 3, and 4. But we didn't do that because we were hungry when we
Nor,
started.
nor do you
So
have to. It's
so our group of hobos went to the food court at number 2 first time around, and that
you
was
were
great.
almost killed by pudding, and you befriended a giant plant-like monster.
Gravity almost killed me.
Yes, you failed you're climbing down a rope. You failed that strength check.
Yep. Son
don't
of a gun.
don't don't skip those arm days, guys. uh,
And yeah, I got to save the day by talking to a plant the size of a room.
yeah,
Cultivation.
yeah. And what I love is you can fight the giant plant if you want to, but
We were almost dead.
it's supposed to be a negotiation. It's like, all right, you have to think a little differently.
Yeah.
With D&D, it's like, what are the other ways to succeed?
And thankfully, we already discussed it as a group beforehand. We were doing it during our RPing and it was decided I'd be the voice of the group anytime there was something like that because I just had the highest charisma. And yeah, Dez, our cleric, literally threw me in that because I forgot about our little agreement.
Yeah. All right, so moving on.
Yeah, so we got to hang out at the Mage Inn.
Yeah, the Mage Inn, the proprietor of the Mage Inn, Mr. Tunnelly, he rewarded you with
Free room and board and
free
food.
room and board, food, for the night, and of course, some gold.
Yep.
And oh, you had made a promise to cultivation, the giant plant creature.
It bothered me because we had to wrap up our session really, really quickly at the end, and one of the conditions of us going free in cultivation, not killing us, and just wrecking face of the town, was that I would tell uh, the person in charge of our little festival about how he didn't want there to be omnivore food. He just wanted it to be vegetarian,
Yes.
and it ate me up just because I totally forgot just to send the letter. And I was talking to my DM saying, "Oh, I got to figure out a way to talk to him. I just want to call him." And this jerk right here is like, "Oh, when was the last time you called the mayor of New York?" And it's like,
Yeah, go
So
go get de Blasio on the phone.
yeah,
Yeah, let's see how easy that goes.
so I'm like, okay, I have to figure out a way to get the guy who's running this festival
Yeah.
uh,
From
to let him know that we have to switch food.
All right, from my point of view, the mayor or the watchlord
Watchlord, there
as
we
they're
go.
called in this city, not really a character. And it's like I could make someone up, but I'm thinking Gulzira Tunnelly wanted you to do this mission on the down low because if people ever found out that all these disturbances, all the food that was coming alive
It was from
came
his basement.
from his basement, he would have lost money. He has no incentive to actually contact the Watchlord.
So I didn't know this because I just
Wait,
had my
no,
mission in
well,
mind.
that's you had your mission hat, but you knew
I
why Gilzira hired you.
yeah to and as a bard, I couldn't put two and two together because I play it chaotically. So I just play from the heart. I don't take notes, and maybe I should, but that's not what Deadpool would do.
No, no. So you try to talk to
So we wake up.
yes at the Mage
We,
Pit
we,
Inn.
we, we have our breakfast, and the first thing I do is I talk to Tunnelly and let him know what I have to do because cultivation, uh, you know, and I had this agreement.
And it's like, and you asked Mr. Tunnelly to talk to, and to you it made sense. He's the proprietor of a successful business, and it's like, of
He's
course, the
every
mayor or the watchlord.
everybody eats there, of
Yes,
course.
and Gilzera, he's gives you a no,
Yeah, I rolled for a dice roll and I just
intimidation or persuasion. Either
yep,
way, it's
it
like it
failed.
failed, and it's like, and we got into a fight, and it's like, get, I never, you are not invited here. You're, please leave.
Yeah, and the rest of the group was like, "Wait, what's happening?" And 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 I tried really hard, but we'll get into that later. So, thankfully, my friends finished their breakfast relatively soon, so I don't have to wait long for them to start our next adventure. And
Yes.
we have a bunch of options. We could go to a concert. We could
Yep. The concert right here.
yep. We could go to the spiraling tower, uh, where there's going to be this panel with four experts about something. I think it's alchemy.
Yes.
All right. Or we could go in and enjoy the con.
Joy-Con, go to the vendor hall. Yes, the vendor and gaming fair fills Heroes Square with such a wide variety of exhibits, games, and booths that everyone can find something to enjoy here.
Yep.
Yes.
And it wasn't too far from where we were at the inn
Yeah.
because it's right. It's actually the closest one if you look at where two is to where three is, and that's why I love maps because it's like oh no, it's the closest thing.
Yeah. So you go
So a
to
lot of reasons to choose it
yeah.
from a from our party perspective.
As a con goer, it makes sense because all right, let's just say you go to the con hungry. All right, get something to eat. Sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to go conning on an empty stomach.
No.
And then what do?
You
You go to
burn
the
off that fatty food.
you go to the vendor hall. You
Although in this case it was vegetarian food, but still.
you go you go and look around
Yeah.
and you see what's there to buy. So, uh yeah. At the vendors hall, there were a number of games that the players can enjoy. And they're not too, amazing. There's dice poker where, you roll 6 dice and you can make out a pattern if you get 2 pairs, 1 pair, etc., etc.
Straight.
Uh,
So
there was, what else do we have?
I think there was
There was
a sword fight, an insult
oh yeah,
sword
yeah,
fighting.
like basically uh a duel with creative insults.
Yeah, and being that I literally have vicious mockery,
Yeah.
it's like of course I was gonna pick that one.
Yes, and there's a building game where you take your dice and you try to build
Build
it.
the tallest tower.
Yeah, and I feel this stuff is made for these games are more for like the 10-year-olds. Honestly, it's like, yeah, we'll play. But if you do win, you get something from Mad Merlick's Wondrous Booth, and there's a scroll that erases its writing when rolled up, and a small sundial that can be strapped on a wrist, a map of Thentia that shows where you are on it. And it's like,
Yep.
all right,
I got the map
nifty things, but
because I
no,
love maps.
but it's nothing that's going to break the game. It's like going to an amusement park and getting all the tickets and just, all right, here's like a Chinese finger trap. It's those kind of prizes. So
Yeah, and I think uh Rojian got the scroll that erases itself,
yes,
and that comes in handy
that
later.
could come in handy later. Yeah,
So it was good,
yeah,
like because one, I wanted to know where we are because we couldn't look at the map all the time because we didn't have the map. We just had it the first time, and it's like, oh great, give me this damn map.
yeah.
So that was fun because it was like you're in a Zelda dungeon.
Yes. So, as you were going through the vendor area, a there is the booth, the Valkrana Tile Factory, and you see a woman, a shopkeeper, being harassed by a dwarf and a half orc, and they turn out to be bounty hunters.
Yeah, and we're not down with that. We think they're being a little too rough for the situation.
Yeah, being too. Eventually they leave, but they're very threatening, and the uh the woman behind the booth, Edia Valkrana, she calls you over, the adventurers, and she she's your NPC for this evening,
Yeah,
and she basically gets you to do the mission.
yeah. She talks about her tiles a bunch,
Yeah. So
and we talk about different quality tiles.
yeah, something I had to do, and it's not stated here. So I was now role playing as, Edia, and her goal is that there is a family of gnomes that have escaped slavery. They're hiding in Thentia, and her people, she's like an underground railroad.
Yep.
Her people they're trying to get her to a ship to get away from the Moonsea area.
Is that
And
Harriet Tubman?
yes, yeah, good, awesome. She's a good kind of crazy.
Yeah, like that the exact kind of crazy you need to help a family.
Yeah. Anyway, um, the way I was RPing her is like, okay, she's being watched because the bounty hunters are trying to find the slaves to bring back to their city. And uh, how you need to disguise the way Eddie is talking. So, I get down and I start talking about the tiles. We have terracotta, obsidian,
Yeah.
onyx, and just now the players have to pay attention because she's now speaking in code, and that definitely helps. That's not in the adventure, but that's something I made up just to make you know the character more engaging.
Now, being that I'm a little older, I actually and I have my own place. I actually know a lot about tile. I'm actually really interested in this. So for me, it's like, ooh, I get to talk about materials.
Yes, and
So for me, it was really easy to remember the code words. So I think you were doing that so I would
yes,
know what the hell like. Oh yeah, uh, obsidian is very rare and yada yada
yes,
yada.
and I'd be like, if you want to undergo this enterprise, point at the terracotta. If not, maybe the obsidian is for you. And then the characters would have to point.
To the terracotta, and it's like, yes,
And
I will take your red pill.
yes, I know I did a Morpheus thing, but with tiles. And I even uh for the player characters, you have to give them a special tile that has feathers on it. It's on the bottom. Let me just scroll down to it. All right, there we go. And I printed this up. I gave it to them because I really like tactility, and it's important for the characters to have something in their fingers that
I
they can.
still have it in my folder.
Yeah. Yeah. I just taped it to an index card, but it's like they can use it when they're out and about, and I'm like, well, if you meet up with other people that have dealt with me, they will attest to the perfection of my tile.
Yeah,
So it's like if you decode that, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to show this to the ex-slaves to
yeah,
prove that I'm with Velkrana, and it's like, okay, this was like a leap of faith because if my players were stupid, they wouldn't know what I was talking about.
oh, oh, this is my multi-pass.
Also another thing I did was and I'm very proud of this. We just redid the shingling on the cathedral in the northern part of town. Did you know that behind the cathedral there is a secret stairwell that you can go to the underground tunnels? Not many people know that.
And I'm like, great, let me get my map so
Yeah.
I know where to go. So I was really happy I had that map
Yeah.
because now I'm role playing with Ida on where the hell we have to walk to,
Yes.
and
And that's
uh,
I it's not in here, but that's one of the reasons why you did not get lost. And I add that's a factor of why
yeah,
you knew where you were because you
and
had that map.
yeah, I had the map. There was a nice printout. We got to write on it, and it helped in so many ways. That just builds later on. But this is one of those beautiful things about Dungeons and Dragons, because I'm just gonna go to the map. This one,
Yeah, that to map.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's over here. We just a little north of where we are, and we got to just draw on the map, and now we're making the world together, and that was amazing because here, nope, there's nothing drawn here on the original PDF. But with our little printout, with some pen and like 30 seconds, it's like boom, we marked your world, Mr. Zhang. Now it's now ours. So, which is the whole point of D&D. Just take a story and run with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go into the tunnels, the underground tunnels that Edia was talking about, and the way I know you guys play, it's like you need more things, and I attempted doing a random encounter
We passed.
roll. You passed, but you would have been like you would have encountered like a thing of a swarm of rats or something.
I
Uh,
think we were just more excited that we passed the roll than actually fighting the rats,
yeah,
if that was the case.
yes,
Because I don't know, when it's just rats, it's like, oh, there are rats. But when you beat the die roll, it's like, ooh, we beat chance.
yeah,
So I don't know, that was fun, quick but fun.
yes. Eventually, you meet up with the Webbler family. It's a mother, a father, and a son and a daughter, 9 and 7 respectively. And they're very frightened. And uh,
And I tried to calm them down. Well, first, while we're walking down there, a lot of our team has dark vision, so we're not using our lanterns, our
yeah,
torches, because we don't want to be seen. So we're walking down there, and we finally noticed them, and it's like, oh, let's get a light to so that way they could see, because one of our party members is basically blind.
yeah, blind in the dark.
In
I
the
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
he's a
also,
dragonborn.
yep, and also these people can't see in the dark either, and they're still kind of freaked out because there's a dragonborn. There's like people with like
Yes,
weapons.
and
I'm a bard.
I had to RP where it's like these people would think they never saw you before. They would think that you're the bounty hunters.
Yeah. So as the bard, I'm like, oh, let me sing you a song to calm you down.
Yes.
And
Well, before that, you show the tile,
oh yeah,
the
yeah, I
multi-pass.
saw the multi pass, and they come along, but they're still kind of freaked out.
Ah, yes.
That's right. And I play them a song.
Yes, you play them a song to calm down the wailing, the children.
Yeah, because they're not crying, but they're definitely not calm. and I think I rolled a 3.
Yeah, you did not pass. You did not pass, and
I
the
had
whole
like a
fam,
+6.
everyone's like, and I
No, no,
just
I rolled a 1. I
you
crit
rolled a one.
failed.
Yeah, you rolled a
No, no, I
one.
rolled a
Okay.
1. I crit failed,
Yes.
and I'm thinking I'm gonna break my my loot. I'm gonna think that we're gonna get attacked by something. None of that happens as a crit fail, and it's like, oh wait, no, Carlos uses crit fails. What's gonna happen?
Yes.
And it comes back later.
By the way, crit fails. The rules say that crit fails and critical hits, they're only applicable in combat. But it's like I'm gonna have fun with you. I'm gonna have fun if you succeed or fail on checks, and it's not gonna break the game. But you're gonna get punished for doing something stupid.
So so
So
the children start to cry. It's the
children start
worst
to
song
cry.
they've ever heard in their
The
life.
the mother is like, "What? I have not heard a song this bad since I've seen the biscuit of limp."
Ah, so they're just insulting my playing, and I'm like, all right, let's just save you guys. Let's just go. And
Yes.
I think it's over. I thought that was the critical fail.
So you end up at Velkrana's warehouse.
Yeah, because the tunnels lead us there.
Yes, but you are encountered by the very same dwarf and half orc, and the bounty hunters. Yes,
Screw those guys,
yes.
because they're like, wait, they look right at me and they're like, wait, were you the one singing? That was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, God damn it! Did everybody hear my singing?
You see, and that was
That's a critical
that's a
fail.
critical fail, and that's what you have to do. I feel as a DM, you have to make the world consistent, like cause and effect. You think you're doing this harmless thing? No, it actually has repercussions around the world, and that's an advantage you would have over like a video game RPG. You could program these things in, but you can't you can't do these things on the fly. You
And
know.
the worst part is, because they said that, none of us were mad that they knew exactly where we were
Yeah.
and that they had the drop on us.
Yes.
It's like, of course they know where they are. I told them by singing the worst song in the world.
So there were a few ways out of it without combat. So you could have scared them off with an intimidation roll, or you could bribe them with 50 GP. And I think you were attempting to bribe them off, but the cleric was like, "No, we're fighting. Fight." Okay, okay,
I
okay.
I I tried to bribe them. I was trying to see if I could roll.
Yeah, it's only 10 gold pieces each. We could do that. I'm like, no, we're fighting.
And it's just, and I look at Dez and I'm like, I got your back, man. And that's something else you can't control. Uh, you know, in a game versus here, it's where it's like, yeah, in an MMO, yeah, you all have like you could Leroy Jenkins it, but this is just so much better
Yeah.
because he's been chomping at the bit this whole thing to do something.
Yeah.
Because when we went down, he goes to Rojian or Dragonborn. He's like, "I got you, man. I can see in the dark. Just put your hand on me." And he's like, protecting him. When we have to do the roll for saving ourselves in the tunnel, Dez is like, "No, I got this," because he felt like, so he's been waiting
He's
for
been
like
waiting, chomping at the bit.
30
So
minutes,
just let him fight. You know. So
like in Godzilla.
we let them fight. So they end up in the
So we have terrible position. I'm not happy because we're stuck in the corner.
yeah.
But
And so we have our merry group here, and we have the bounty hunters here.
and I think to the right of those 4 boxes we have the family.
Yeah, around here,
They were either in that corner or the other side. I
I
forget.
kept them out of combat. I let them stay underground underneath like a trap door because I just didn't want to account for them at the time.
Okay.
So, yeah, and you get to fight. Now, I forget the exact things, but it was the. I remember it's the first time you, as a group, encountered enemies that had multi-attack.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
So we have, uh, of course, we have. If you're listening to us, we have a half orc who looks all gnarly, and then we have this gnome who has like a crossbow, awesome armor,
yeah.
big hair.
So, multi-attack, especially to. I think you were level 2 at the time.
Yeah, we all just leveled up.
Yeah, the scout makes 2 melee attacks or 2 ranged attacks.
Yeah, and this is the half orc, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that could be something else. And
I think they had a sword of some type.
yeah, but you do some pretty cool things. I think. Oh yes, your cleric uses radiant damage, and he gets a critical for that.
Yeah,
Like a
so
guided bolt,
yeah,
or yeah,
it's guided bolt, and he already has like a 2 or 4d6, and then he crits on it, so it becomes like a 6 or an 8d6,
yeah,
and I think he averages like 4 per die.
guiding bolt. So he just decimated, and this was over in 2 rounds. It was just
Yeah, so if you're looking at it on the screen, it is 4d6 radiant damage, and because he crits, it becomes 8d6, and he didn't get lower than a 4 on those 8 die. So he killed, I think it was the guy who did the multi attack in like
well.
a hit.
I think quite possibly it was the it,
No, no,
it
he got the
was
girl.
it was the girl. Yeah,
Yeah, he got the one with the crossbow.
Rogion took out the half orc, and
He
what
was last in the rotation.
yeah what
Um, it was
I
amazing.
what I like doing, just to, you know, so that it's just not a rank and file. Oh, I attack with my longsword, and it's like sometimes, especially on coup de grace, the killing blows. I'm like, please describe what was happening. And Erogion, our friend George, he he says, with my mighty longsword, I bring it up, and I slice through him, and he splits in twain.
And blood flies everywhere. We all are losing our stuff because um it was like he used the word in twain.
And
And
it's
it's
like,
like, holy
all right,
crap,
yeah,
you're really into this.
yeah, from yeah, and
From
I
Shakespeare.
yeah,
So
yes, and I'm like, and I even say, oh yes, you cut him from navel to tip.
that's woo.
It sounds so harmless, but it's like when you picture it, it's like it's some like
It's
Japanese
not
anime stuff right
it's not
there.
harmless.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's so good, and
I
yeah,
I I just felt bad for them because it was over in two
2
rounds.
rounds. Yeah, it didn't take too much. Of course, Mia, when was hiding somewhere, used her as a rogue. She used her sneak attack, which was worked out really well.
I insulted people and gave them disadvantage.
Disadvantage, you used a vicious mockery. And then it's like, I forgot to mention. You know what? You can actually not kill people if you don't want to. If
You could knock them out.
you can knock them out, I was like, oh, okay, we'll just knock out the female dwarf. And it's like, all right,
Yeah, with the radiant bolts.
yeah. Like, oh, okay then. But yeah, it was a fast fight. Nothing to write home about. The guards come in,
And they were like, "Whoa, you cut that dude in two."
cut and it's like, and they're like, did who did this? And like, Rojan was like, not me. Nope.
And I just say they attacked us because we were saving people. We have people who are our witnesses because I didn't forget that they didn't like me, and I'm like, all right, you guys, you have to like me now.
I know.
We just saved your life.
As the guards, I'm like, all right, this was a bit excessive, but
They talk to
Okay, I didn't feel
the
like I
slaves.
didn't feel like creating a like DMing a penitentiary, so it's like sure.
Really, that's why we got away.
I'm like, I ain't got time for this stuff.
I thought it was because we saved
You're,
the slaves and we killed the slavers
no,
or the.
it's laziness because it's like we got you got more adventures to do, and I don't want to like have these scenes where you're talking to the commissioner or whatever. I just don't feel like it.
Watch Lord.
I don't know.
And then I would be able to talk to him about cultivation. You kept him away from me on purpose.
This fictional person who did not exist.
Oh, we're going to talk about fictional people who don't exist in the next
Who
one.
did not exist. Not even. It was. But yeah. It's just. I just want you to get to the next adventure, and the family was eventually escorted to the docks where they're on their way out of Thentia onto freedom.
And that plants the idea in my head that, oh man, they have docks. There's a place by the docks. I'm going to keep this in mind for our next adventure.
Yes.
And and then we're talking about, oh, we need to eat, we need to rest. And I realize that the dude at the Majin doesn't like me.
Doesn't like you.
And
Where are you going to get breakfast? And I write. It's part of Dungeons and Dragons rules. It's not every DM does it, but it's like I say that you need to have a requisite amount of food and drink for the day. And that's why I had the mage in because okay, that's where you get your breakfast. That's where you get your food.
and thankfully you don't give us the living tax.
Yeah.
But I have a disguise kit in my character sheet,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna to roll for disguise. Now I could have used my magic disguise self, but I didn't want to burn
Yeah.
a magic slot
Yeah. Well, we'll save that for later. For the next one where we talk about your shenanigans.
with disguise.
With disguising. Just totally unnecessary, but it was fun. Uh, the group for lodging, they get to stay at the warehouse for the night, and they get gold and experience, and it's yeah, it was fun. Now, what are your thoughts about this adventure?
It was very on rails, uh, and that wasn't because it was written on rails. It was because our group wanted just to wreck face, and uh, Des just wanted to attack something that whole time.
Yeah.
And it was just like we were waiting for the he was waiting for the battle, which meant I was waiting for the battle. Uh, I also didn't like that snot-nosed kid. I didn't like you as role
You
playing as
didn't.
those people insulting me.
Yes. Well, that's you pay the price. Oh, we didn't mention after you save the family, what and you dispatch the bounty hunters, what do you do?
I I play a song.
You play a song. And the song it goes over extremely well.
I think I rolled like a 17.
You wrote
I
yes.
I, I redeemed myself. I didn't roll that 20 I wanted, but I rolled a 17. I made up some limerick,
to
and everybody laughed.
yes. You should just have a back pocket of songs that
I just rhyme. I just take
Okay.
dumb rhymes, and I'll just sing over like whatever song I was listening to when I was driving to your place,
All right.
because it keeps it fluid. I
Yeah.
never know what I'm gonna sing.
Yeah, I with this one, it's I knew my group. I knew I needed to add a few more things just to make it. But yeah, it is very on rails. But I had fun with it, and a philosophy that I have with Dungeons and Dragons, and and I try to have in life is it's not enough to have fun.
You have to bring the fun.
You need to bring the fun. It could be. I think you'll agree that okay, it could be the most textbook Dungeons and Dragons adventure, but if you go at it, with a sense of fun, if you know what you're gonna bring,
Yeah, if you're looking to have a good time and you're looking to bend the rules, not break them, so that way your DM doesn't just yell at you, saying "What the hell, guys," which does happen eventually.
Yeah.
um, um, and you know what your group is all about. Yeah, you could just bend everything to have a really good time because um I knew that Rojan couldn't see uh in the dark, and I made some wisecrack joke about the deaf leading the blind, and it was just like, yeah, like it's just us walking through a tunnel. But because I made that one dumb joke, Dez made another dumb joke, and it just like, yeah, it got us through that for like a good 10 minutes when it should have been like, oh yeah, we walked through the tunnel and we beat the we beat the die rolls, so
Yeah.
no rat encounter. It's like, no,
Yeah.
we dicked around in that tunnel for like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah. What I do is just maybe make like a map for the sewer so that the players can have random encounters that way
Yeah,
and
but
yeah,
we didn't need that.
didn't need that.
We basically just did a theater of the mind
Yeah.
where I'm gonna go back to the map. So if you're listening, we just went north like 2 blocks to where our map was, and there's like a big wall, and it's like, oh yeah, behind this wall is the is where the church and the tunnel are, and it's right up pressed against the wall. There's a tunnel there. We drew it on our map, and then it's like, okay, you're sneaking down here. You're feeling the walls, and it's like blah blah blah. And we didn't need it
Didn't need it.
because
I
we
would
were
have
just
liked you
talking
to go a
all
little
the way
less.
through.
There's the part of me where like, oh, we could have something dungeon crawly in this, and it's like, all right, you go down the wrong place and like fight like a roper or something. I don't know, but yeah, no, it was we ended up playing for 2 hours, which was just the right amount of time. So
Even if it was on rails, like
yeah,
we still took a while with the whole thing,
yes,
just because we were having fun with it.
yeah, yeah,
We I think everybody in the group when I got the crit fail made a joke.
yes.
Not one person let me, not one person let it go. But it was like, wait, he crit failed. Oh, this is gonna be great. and mm. But damn it, everybody loved the end song. That's all. That's what I'm gonna focus on.
It's Dungeons and Dragons is a special game because like we celebrate the failures as well as our successes.
I think the failures are better
Yeah.
because it we don't know how bad it's gonna get, and I honestly thought, oh yeah, everybody makes fun of me. They like all my friends are making fun of Frederick, and it's like, oh yeah, no, this is the crit fail, and it's like, no, no,
All right.
and they come and attack. So even though it's super basic in terms of the mechanics of, hey, do these games and build a dice tower, roll some die, yada yada yada, get a mission, find some people 2 blocks away. It's like, no, that took a good 45 minutes just because we really built the world around us, and we wanted to have fun with it ourselves because this is a game that you put an ounce in, you'll get a pound back. Because
That's good. I like that thinking.
yeah,
Well, that said, thank you very much for watching. I
I
hope
hope
we
we
didn't
didn't
waste
waste
your
your
time.
time.